All right, well, welcome to Becoming Financially Healthy with Doterra. And, we are big proponents of holistic health. We would be totally remiss if we only talked about physical, emotional, and mental health with these essential oils. We feel that true health is holistic and it's also including financial. So, for anybody that can benefit from that, there is an option to get involved with doTERRA to build income and become financially healthy. And that's why we're doing this. And we really appreciate y'all wanting to learn that. And anybody else that wants to learn that, we'll do this more often. This will be recorded for people that want to check it out afterwards. But that is the reason why we're doing it.
Absolutely. So I'm Faye Epps.
Yeah, I'm Joel Epps.
Yes. And we've been involved with doTERRA for about 10 and a half years now.
Yeah.
And so we're going to take you on a little journey of kind of our discovery of this whole process and give you some idea of what you would actually do. So,
yeah. And the first thing we want to do is get this presentation working. There we go. So what we're going to share with you today. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Is how to create wealth for yourself, how to evaluate a great business opportunity, and I do mean great, and everything you need to know to make a decision to get started today. So what are you creating in your life? Is everything in your life exactly how you'd like it? I know it's not for me. If money was out of the equation, would you change anything about your job, financial situation, or home life if money wasn't the issue? And what financial goals are you wanting to accomplish? How long have you been trying to reach these goals? And what are the consequences of not solving these issues? If you don't act on this, what potentially could happen?
It's amazing. I don't know if you've heard these statistics before, but did you know that about 3 out of every 4 American lives their lives paycheck to paycheck? And about 62% of Americans can't afford an unexpected expense. And what's happening is that for every $1 earned, many people are spending more, spending $1.22. And now with inflation, it's probably even higher. And so the average American has about $16,000 in credit card debt, which means being a slave to that interest that continues to accumulate. And retirement planners say that anyone under the age of 40 will need at least $2 million saved up for a comfortable middle-class retirement. How's that going so far? It wasn't going so good for us, I'll tell you.
So what does all this mean? It means that 98% of the retired people today are dependent on either Social Security, family, charities, or they're still working, which means it's only working for about 2% of the people out there. And, that famous 2% of people that have actually been able to save enough money to be out of retirement. So in my mind, in our minds, it's time for a plan B. What's the plan B?
Yeah. Well, what if we could show you how to earn extra income, not only to secure your retirement, but for you to do the other things in your life that you've been wanting to do? And just take a minute. What are some of your dreams? What have you been wanting to do? Whether it's travel, maybe charity work, own a home, right?
Save money for education.
Save money, extracurricular activities for the kids. And so what if we could show you that you could earn in 2 to 4 years, or even if it was 10 years, what others are trying to do in 40 years, right? You work a job for 40 years, try to save, try to get some type of pension or retirement bonus to be okay. That's not working for most people. So there's really 2 secrets to getting out of the rat race. One is you have to be your own boss. You aren't going to get rich working for other people. And 2, you've got to employ the concept of leverage, working hard once and then getting paid over and over again in the future for those efforts.
So there's a little story I'd like to tell about hauling buckets or building a pipeline. And typically working is hauling buckets. So there was a guy and lived in a village, and he used to make his living hauling buckets to his village for pay and hauling buckets of water for pay. And every day he would haul the water from the nearest water source to his village, and he would sell the water, and he did pretty good. He would sell out, and it was a good business. Couldn't complain. But after many years of doing that, he grew tired, and he started to realize that he was just getting by, not really saving any money or saving anything for retirement. And what he realized that he needed a better way. And so he had an inspiration to start building a pipeline. In other words, start making something that would take that water from the water source, lake stream, and all the way into the village. And one day he actually accomplished his goal of completing that pipeline, working basically part-time because he had to keep hauling buckets of water. But when he turned it on, he was able to supply the village with water that he didn't have to do the work for any longer. And so he was able to create what we now call residual income, because as people kept paying him for the water, he wasn't doing any more of the work.
Yep. So basically,
right? He was creating what we call residual income, or he was doing what we call network marketing.
Well, creating residual income, but that's also something that we can do through authentic network marketing. Definitely. Okay. And I think it's really important that we point out a few things about network marketing. I know when we first started, I was like, oh, no, I'm not doing this, because I didn't really understand what authentic network marketing is. So it's not a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme. It's recognized in all 50 states, and it's a legitimate business model. It's regulated by state laws. The business is product driven. So people are buying products that they're actually using.
Right. That's the big difference between a pyramid or Ponzi scheme. Or Ponzi scheme, there's no product. There's just putting money in order to move up the quote unquote pyramid to get paid off eventually from somebody else. And
over time, this builds residual income. It's unlimited earning potential, which is really nice. We were talking about in the beginning, goals and goal setting. What's really nice is it's really your goals that you set for yourself, and then strategize on how to reach those goals. It's built on a business model, including product sourcing, order fulfillment, billing, and customer service. And there's built-in education system to teach not only about the product, but also entrepreneurship and leadership. Entry cost is the cost of the products for your own household and your own level of commitment. There's no need for having to create a stockpile of product that you then try to go resell, which some companies do that. And it's flexible. How you work, when you work, and where you work. Some of the differences between network marketing and a corporate job: instead of just one person at the top, you can have unlimited people at the highest rank, right? No one's holding you back. And leverage. You're not just trading your time for a particular hourly wage or salary. You are able to start leveraging your time to increase how much you're earning.
And leveraging the work of others to get income as well.
Absolutely. And you control your income growth, and you don't need to ask for time off or vacations. You are your own boss. You're your own CEO. Starting your own company versus network marketing. With network marketing, the risk is low. It's a proven company with a proven track record. And we'll talk about Doterra and why partnering with Doterra is such a great thing to do. The statistic out there for people starting their own business, it's like 2/3 of businesses go out of business within 5 to 7 years. So it's really a challenge to create your own business from the ground up. With this, you have low overhead, low expenses. There's no product or inventory to stock, like we said, no employees to pay. You don't have to wear all the hats like marketing and order fulfillment and invoicing and collections and shipping, and it goes on, right? There's specific role that we play. And again, you're leveraging your efforts instead of just trading your time for dollars, because you're building a team of people that work together for a common goal to help create a stable, long-term residual income.
It's like being in the record business. That's how I always relate to it, or being in the movie industry. If you're making movies and records or books, you're getting a little bit of every time somebody watches or buys that product, right? You get a little commission from it. Nothing like seeing those checks come in the mail that you didn't work for anymore.
Yeah.
So why don't people succeed in network marketing? Well, most of them have a lottery mentality. They think that if they just join a network marketing company and find somebody to work for them, they're going to make it rich. It doesn't really work that way. And because they don't really want to work, but you do have to work. And that's the difference. You're working for a residual long-term income as opposed to, like we talked about earlier, just trading your time for money. And so that work pays off tenfold as opposed to just once. And sometimes, and oftentimes, the products that people are selling just don't work. And the retention rate is low. And this is a really important concept, y'all.
Well,
Retention. We're going to talk more about that, but the basic idea is that people come in, they buy the product one time, and then they're gone. And you can't have a network marketing business with low retention. It has to be ongoing customer purchases. And there's a lack of training and tools oftentimes. And then there's no following proven successful leaders because there aren't any.
Right.
Or no, there's just system. So few.
Right. No system.
And then it takes too long to make any money. And I'm probably the oldest and most senior network marketer here, and I can tell you that all the times I've tried these businesses and never made any money. So it's nice to know that when you join a company like Doterra, you can actually start making money from day one.
What's the opportunity? Well, the wellness industry, which Doterra is part of, is one of the top 5 growth industries, according to Forbes magazine. And 65% of the general population want natural solutions to improve their health. And the fastest growing product category in the wellness industry is actually essential oils. And according to Verified Markets, the essential oil global market was valued at over $8.6 billion in 2022 and is expected to reach over almost $18 billion by 2028.
So that's a over double in the next 6 years or so.
Yeah.
That's a phenomenal growth rate.
Why doTERRA essential oils? There's a lot of essential oils on the market. Why doTERRA? Well, doTERRA is the largest distributor of essential oils globally and is credited with the recent growth and expansion of the essential oil industry. 51% of the general population has used oils, but of that population, only 18% are actually familiar with doTERRA essential oils. So what does that mean? There's still a lot of growth potential. And studies have shown the most popular method to find out about natural products is through the recommendation of someone you know. And this method is about 50% more common than referring to an advertisement. So whether it's a friend or a friend of a friend, right, having some kind of connection and that familiarity helps increase the likelihood, right, that someone will buy from you. Essential oils.
So what are essential oils? Yes, really quick. Most of you all know this.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just going to go over this for anybody watching that isn't familiar with it. That essential oils are nature's defense mechanism for plants. They're pure distillates and extracts from plants. They're highly concentrated. They're 50 to 70 times more powerful or potent than herbs. And 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is equal to about 28 cups of peppermint tea. And what you're looking at here is a little peppermint leaf and then a microscopic blow up of that leaf that's showing the little oil sacs on the leaf. And if you see those little protrusions sticking out are actually protecting the oil sacs. So these compounds are actually highly valued by the plants as well as us because they do lots of good things for the plants in terms of helping them fight off viruses, bacteria, fungus, helping them to propagate more readily, heal, repair, as well as reproduce. And wait a minute, back up a second. And then they have therapeutic uses for us, and they have been proven to be very, very effective. So why essential oils? Well, essential oils work at a cellular level. This is really, really key. There's very few, there aren't any current drugs that we know of, maybe some of this RMA technology, but before that, there were drugs that could get inside the cell. Most things work outside the cell. Essential oils have the ability to cross what's known as the blood-brain barrier or the cell membrane and get inside the cell and affect various threats that attack the cell. So, like the flu, when you get that and the doctor says, go home and drink plenty of water because there's nothing we can do for you, that's because that thing is going on inside of the cell. And so we have a product now that actually can go inside the cell and protect, and people can address those types of issues. So why doTERRA essential oils?
Well, not only can they do everything Joel said, but we know that they are certified pure, tested great. So what does that mean? It is doTERRA's standard, but they created that because there really was not a standard in the industry. And so they knew that to really integrate this into wellness and health care, that they needed to have something that was pure, that was effective, and that was consistent. And so what they did, got rid of all the middlemen, worked directly with the farmers to ensure that the plants are grown and harvested in such a way that they are the most efficacious, the most effective, that all the right chemical compounds are there. And the essential oils go through 3 different times of testing. After the plants are distilled, when they reach the doTERRA facility and the third-party testing facility, and then after they're bottled, with 8 to 10 different types of tests each time. So this stringent in-house and third-party testing ensures that these are pure, free from contaminants, free from synthetics, free from heavy metals, no added carrier oils, as well as ensures that it's the right chemical constituents in there in the right proportion, and that each batch, like when you buy lavender, you want to make sure that lavender is the same each time. And so they test to make sure that it is within a very narrow range of variability. So because of that, doTERRA is one of the only, if not the only, essential oil company now being able to actually do clinical studies on the essential oils because of what they've achieved with that purity, with the chemical composition, and the consistency. It's really pretty cool.
And I'm sure some smart person out there is going, well, then why can't some other company do that? And the truth is, some other company could try to do it, but what doTERRA has been doing is, in this process, is developing relationships with growers in such a way that no one can come in and reproduce the exact same product that doTERRA is producing.
Well, in fact, 98% of our oils come from exclusive relationships with the network of growers around the world. So it's just amazing what doTERRA has been able to accomplish. And so just real quickly, 3 ways to use them. Aromatically, you can inhale or use a diffuser. Diffuser is a wonderful tool. This is going to affect mood. One of the fastest ways to affect mood, cleans the air, and also supports normal respiratory function. Topically, you can apply to your feet so that the oils go in and go through your whole body. You can also apply directly to areas of discomfort. You can use it for massage, and you can use it for immediate comfort in any particular area, and also immune support. And then because of doTERRA's purity and quality of oils, our oils can be used internally. Now, if you look, most of the oils on the market, it'll say for external use, not for internal, heavily dilute, right? And you begin to wonder, well, at least for me, what I started wondering, if they're not safe to ingest, but I'm putting them on topically or inhaling them, those same contaminants are going into my system. So no matter how I'm using them, I want the purest oils. And so we add drops of oils to our water, put directly under the tongue, put it in a little empty veggie capsule and swallow it. Great for digestive support, nourishes the whole body, mouth, throat, liver, kidneys, urogenital tract. So often what I find, applying the oils in multiple ways, taking it internally as well as applying it or inhaling it, actually gives a better response in the body. So it's really cool that we can use these oils all 3 ways. And doTERRA is a company.
Well, doTERRA is really quite an amazing company because of the founding executives. It's privately held, and there's over 180 years of combined experience. It's debt-free. Or if they do get debt, they immediately pay it off to not incur large amounts of interest and become beholden to debtors. And then it's the largest essential oil company in the world. And we've seen that happen in our tenure with the company becoming the largest distributor in the world. Why? Because this approach does actually work, and the products are so effective that it's just skyrocketed the growth of the company.
Yes, and they have actually created a business model called co-impact sourcing and work with farmers, distillers around the world, helping to get the best essential oil while at the same time helping the most people around the world. And it's called co-impact sourcing and has actually won awards and has been recognized by the United Nations for this model of business.
So let's talk a little bit about that growth.
Yes, Doterra in the first 7 years reached $1 billion, which is quite a feat. That's right on par, like with Apple and Microsoft, right? Where you look at some of the other network marketing companies, Nu Skin reached $1 billion in 15 years. Herbalife reached that mark in 16 years. Doterra did it in 7. And now it's a multi-billion, they're about a $2 billion company, and they continue to grow. And what they're looking to do right now is triple their impact. Not only triple the number of customers, but triple the number of people around the world that can be helped. And we're all part of this magic going on right now. Part of this reason for their growth and sustained growth, like we talked about before, has to do with retention. The industry standard is about 13%. So that means for every 10 people that come in, 10 customers, the next month, 9 leave, and you're left with 1. It makes it really challenging to continue to grow. Where doTERRA's average retention is 65%. And in many cases, it's as high as 75 or 80%. And so what does that mean? You earn money faster. The oils sell themselves, you share and educate people. And customers continue to order on their own. And once they're familiar with the system, we do continue to educate. It's an ongoing support process, but customers become very empowered and independent. And it allows you to focus on your own personal strategy and continued education for your customers and support for your business partners.
And so here's a little breakdown of some of the average earnings. This is a little bit dated, so it's probably more now, but this is still relevant. That people who reach the rank of silver earn about $26,000 a year, 57 for gold, 112 for platinum. Diamonds earn in excess of 200 a year, and blue diamonds in excess of 450,000. And then presidential diamonds, 1.3 million earned income a year. Now, this, I mean, I know for most of us, this sounds like a lot of money, but it's all relative. It's not all that much money if you're an NBA basketball player, right? So it's just that it's time for people who are just like us, regular people, used to getting paid and compensated appropriately for the good that they're doing and the work they're doing. Doterra is one of the only companies where you can literally become a double presidential diamond, and we actually have triple presidential diamonds. So we have people that are earning in excess of $2-3 million a year.
Yes, but at the same time, it's whatever your goals are. Some people are looking for a few extra $100 for those extracurricular activities or a car payment. Others want to supplement their income with a few $1,000s. And still others want to replace or even multiply their income. And there's a place for everyone. And that's what's so nice with doTERRA. Yeah. Now, we just want to show you like the power of even that rank of silver. Remember, that was $26,000 a year. In order to have $26,000 each year, right? In that residual income, you will have needed to invest $528,000 in some kind of savings account or mutual fund earning 5% interest. Nowadays, savings accounts, you're lucky if you have about 2%. So that would mean you would need about $1 million sitting in the bank to have that $26,000. I don't know about you, but how long would it take to earn that amount of money and be able to put it away, right?
The reality is most of us don't.
Right? This is the power of residual income.
Right.
And the estimated time to build to silver is about 1 to 2 years. But again, think of the potential. And even if it took longer, what that means. And that gold rank, about $4,500 a month, you would need, because you're not going to get 5% interest, you would need about $2 million invested somewhere to receive $4,500 a month in interest or dividends. Average time to build to gold, somewhere between 2 and 4 years. You have to ask yourself, is that worth it to strive to get that, right? Even if you fall short, is that money still worth it, right? Because that's right. You think about how long, and is it even possible to save that much money to just have sitting in a bank?
Yeah, so I guess all we can say is we're here to tell you living proof that had we not found doTERRA when we found it, there's no way we'd be able to maintain our standard of living on Social Security income. So, we're happy to go more detail with that with anybody.
Yes.
But that is the
So
reality. That's
it's the power of residual income.
right.
And so with that, let's just recap, 77% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 98% will not have enough for retirement or even day-to-day living. Being your own boss is the best way to become financially healthy. And authentic network marketing is a legitimate way to leverage and be in business for yourself. The essential oil industry and the wellness industry is still poised for explosive growth. And Doterra is the leader in this industry for so many different reasons, like we talked about, and it has a very a rich and fair compensation plan. So hopefully you're saying to yourself, this sounds good, and that you're still interested. And for anyone that wants to talk individually, definitely available. That's my number. But what we want to share with you is just kind of a little bit of our story. And I know we have Sigal on here, who we've partnered with for a long time as well, who also wants to, we would love to hear a little bit of your journey. And this is us about almost 24 years ago. And I know I don't look any different, right? And we had a nice family, right? The kids were growing, and we knew that just having a job wasn't cutting it for us. And we thought back then the answer was having our own business. So we had our own business and we were slaves to it and just weren't really getting anywhere. And it was hard for us to have enough money to expand the business. So we went and got jobs. Things were going
All it took
well.
was one bad experience in business, and we had to go get jobs.
Exactly. So we got jobs, but we were doing well. We were, being able to save. We bought property and we started another business again. But actually, then came the housing crisis and the Great Recession in 2008.
Wiped out all our savings.
Wiped out our savings. Joel lost his job. I still didn't have a full-time teaching position because everything was on budget freeze. And so we were really struggling financially. And in fact, in a position where we almost lost our house. I fought for 4 years to keep our house and actually went in and out of foreclosure. It was rough. And that's when Doterra, we always say, found us. And you would think recession time, that's not a good time to start a business. Not, being stable financially, not necessarily a good time to start a business. But we knew we had to do something different. And I was skeptical, like I said, network marketing was not my thing. I didn't really understand it. And I thought essential oils are just something nice to smell. And so I wasn't very excited, but
I was very open to something because I knew we had to make a change.
Yeah.
We were always into natural health. As a matter of fact, our previous business, they didn't really talk too much about that, was promoting natural health products. Yeah. And that was something that we expected to get back into after a couple of years of getting back on our feet. Okay, so that's fine. We did well, but then all this bad stuff started happening. And again, if you're not already financially independent, it's not long, no matter how much money you have saved up for, you can get wiped out. Yeah. So not only were we at our financial wits end, we were also at our health wits end. And fortunately, some folks set up a booth at our local gym, and we got involved with Doterra, and the rest is history because we saw an opportunity to do something that we loved and something that we could feel good about, and something that could provide us with that elusive residual income, which I'd been working my whole life for on one level or another.
Right. And to me, it was truly a win-win-win situation. We were able to benefit not only financially, but physically, mentally, emotionally. We were able to help other people benefit. And we also know, because of the way Doterra sources their oils and their commitment to giving back and improving the lives of everyone in the supply chain process, we know we're also doing good in the world as well as helping the environment. So it was, like I said, I had to get over my preconceived notions. And once I did that, I fell in love with using the products. I fell in love with the people in the company and met so many nice friends along the way, Sigal being one of them. And please share briefly your journey.
Okay, wow. I didn't plan exactly what to say. I'm not sure where to start, but it's been 8.5 years ago. And I started using the oils for personal issues that I had, and I fell in love, like you said. And then I met you, and I wasn't into I had my own healing practice, and all I wanted was to help my clients. And like I said, doTERRA happened to me. I mean, when we find something good, we're starting to share with other people because we want to help. So doTERRA's heart is in the right place. The owners are coming from the place of wanting to do good in the world. And we can see it with all the co-impact sourcing and all the projects that they're doing, hospitals, orphanages. It's just like incredible. As I grew with the company, I'm just in awe with every step of the way. So it makes me feel that I'm in the right place. And although I'm independent and I'm very much like I have my own business, I belong to something bigger than me, and it's a really nice feeling than being alone in business. So their heart is in the right place, and that's what happened to me. That it's like their mission in the world is kind of aligned with my own mission, and it kind of started to collide throughout time. And I just started sharing, and it happened. And I remember that I had about a year and a little bit after I was with doTERRA, I did a Facebook class, and this girl from the UK came, and she said, I have a Reiki practice, and I wanted to use the oils. Remember her, Faye? And and I said to Faye, okay, I want to help her. I didn't want to do the business, but I wanted to help her. So Faye said, you know what? I can do both of you at the same time. I can mentor you. And I wanted to be there for the girl. And Faye started mentoring us. And meanwhile, this girl bumped into some mindset issues. She wasn't able to cross the fence to another growth side. And I got excited. I fell in love with the business part. And like through her, I started to do the business. And I'm still excited after all these years. doTERRA is one of the companies that allows the wellness advocates to reach to the top and then do it again. And most network marketing companies, you can only do it one time. You reach to the top, that's it. You have to go to a different company if you want to make more money. So here there are no limits.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Exactly. And with that, and you said it, Sigal, doTERRA is a vehicle for achieving what you want to achieve. And so goals are individual. The way you do it, there are basics as far as training and skill development, but then it's up to your own imagination and creativity how you actually want to implement your business. And with that, it can allow you to spend time with your kids, help you bring your spouse home if you want, have peace of mind, share your success with others, give back, long-term financial security, be able to quit your job if you're working somewhere else. Many people, after a few years, are able to transition to doing doTERRA without needing to work another job. But again, some people also like what they're doing and incorporate doTERRA into the job they have. Maybe your goal is to get out of debt or be able to retire, own your own home, travel, have true financial freedom, or the ability to give back. And this is what the opportunity for doTERRA can provide. And you still might be wondering, well, how do I make money? How much time is involved? Could this work for me? What's the next step? And so these are the questions that we go into more detail on an individual basis. But the overall process is you share with someone, whether it's a sample, a story, a video, and open them up to wanting to learn more. And then we teach them through a class, help them get their own wholesale membership, and then it's ongoing support. And we just do this over and over again. And so at first, you're not doing everything on your own. You're relying on us for teaching, maybe even in the beginning to talking to people. We do it together. But like Sigal said, pretty soon you hear what we're saying and it becomes more natural. And you're able to do more and more on your own. And so it's very empowering and also very growth oriented, which is nice.
And what we've learned is that we literally customize the strategies to your point for every individual, because everybody's a little different and has different skills and different situations and interests. Yeah. But we do those things that Faye was talking about, but we customize it, how we do it, how we go out, how we show up in the world to our quote unquote target market, which we help you define. So that's part of the strategy process, is sitting down and figuring out, who do you want to serve and who do you want to talk to on a daily basis?
Yeah. And then as far as time investment, I know that was a question you guys had. If you want a couple of $100 a month, you want to be able to get free healthcare, i.e. get your oils paid for, about 5 hours a week consistently over time. You want to supplement your income and grow more, 10 to 15 hours a week. And to replace income, about 15 to 30 hours per week. And the nice thing is you're growing through this process. You're learning along the way. You're earning while you're learning, because it's really about taking action. So the next step would be, if you already have a wholesale membership, you would upgrade and set your LRP to the minimum of 100 PV so that you can earn commission. And if you do not have a wholesale account yet, then talk to the person who invited you to go over the options available for getting started with the oils. And then we help you get plugged into training and resources. And one of the first things that's really fun, I'm sure there's people going through your mind, like, who could benefit from this? Or what group of people would I like to talk to? And so start thinking about that, even making a list, and then we can help you get started in sharing, as well as having a class for people to come to, for your people to come to learn about this. Whether it's learning about the business, you might think, oh man, it would be fun to do it with my friend, or maybe you have a coworker that you think would be really good at this. We could go through the business with them, as well as the oil portion of it, and to help you both get started. Like Sigal said, she had someone that was interested, and so together they were learning. And that's even more fun when you have other people coming along with you.
May I share an inspiring, you tell me when I can, something that I was so inspired lately. Yeah, I can go?
Well, let's wait till the end.
Yes.
And yes, and share, because I also want to hear feedback from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we really are a wellness company, which I love. And not only the essential oils, but supplements, nutritional products, personal care products, cleaning products, because the goal is wellness. For those of you that are not a wholesale customer yet, these are our two most popular kits that I just want to show you. But again, reach out to the person who invited you to this so they can help you figure out what's the best products for your needs. This is what we call the Home Essentials Kit. It's $270 for 10, 15 milliliter bottles of oils.
9.15 and 1.5, sorry.
Yes, and 1.5, and a beautiful La Luz diffuser. These are foundational oils, and I'll go through them in a minute. The other popular kit is the Healthy Start Kit, which is $160. These are 5 milliliter bottles and a smaller diffuser, which is wonderful for like a bedroom or an office. Now, think about it though. You're getting 3 times the amount of oils for just about $100 more. That's why we say this is a best value. And you might be saying, well, why do I need all these oils? Briefly, they can cover so many different health concerns, as well as just everyday wellness. Peppermint for increased energy and open airways, lemon for cleaning and detoxification, deep blue for sore muscles and achy joints, lavender, think all things calming, whether it's for the skin or for sleep. Breathe is our respiratory blend that is wonderful for helping with exercise and endurance, or maybe you have some respiratory challenges. Digestin is for digestion. On Guard is our protective blend, our immune blend. Tea tree is think cleansing. Oregano is nature's antibiotic. Frankincense is the king of oils. It helps all the other oils work better, as well as natural anti-inflammatory and great for the skin, helps maintain healthy cells. There's just so many things frankincense does. So combined with all the oils together and making different combinations of oils, you can take care of so many health needs, whether it's the larger bottles or the smaller bottles. You're not going to go wrong. Let's see. So we always say, the only thing keeping you from what you want is your story about why you can't have it. And with that, let's stop sharing